Lucid can't jump. Is it because he's fat?
Oh no.
What the hell?
Oh,
I missed something.
it was old
I
school.
don't even remember. I didn't remember what that was from.
No, it's like 2 years ago.
If you go into Matt's Discord or chat and then you type exclamation lucid.
So I can't jump either.
None of us can jump.
Or white.
Yeah, that's the reason. He said we're white. I was like, yeah, that's why.
Curse my white genes. I'll never be able to join the ranks of the NBA.
Every time I try to do jump rope, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm white.
Oh. I ain't got coordination for shit.
Hello, everybody. It's January 4th, 2019, and this is the Bitcast. It's episode 51, and I'm still in 2019. Thank God I didn't fuck that up. Guys, thanks for joining me this week.
Yeah.
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 Let's all not get excited at the same time here. Hold on one second.
Listen,
Just take it easy.
was used up a minute ago.
Well, I'm sorry I can't help it when fucking technology decides to take the dildo of the internet and shove it up your ass, but there you go. Yeah. It's 2019. It's a new year. Hooray.
Yay.
I'll bring some excitement.
Happy
It's also,
New Year.
yeah, that's true. Happy belated New Year. It's also episode 51, which means next week
Happy
is going to
birthday.
be, will mean we have officially recorded 52 episodes of the Bitcast. And if you've watched all 52 episodes, good on you. If you have not watched all 52 episodes, good on you.
Thanks for watching this one.
I will praise you for watching this one and moving forward with us in a new year. Maybe there will be format changes. Who knows? We'll see. I haven't thought of anything yet. But nonetheless, let's just go ahead and just jump right into business this week because I have a feeling at some point, if you see somebody's hand go up, I'm going to fall out of my chair. So, Matt, why don't you start us off this week?
Oh, man. My week's been relatively chill, all things considered. Nothing really out of the ordinary to report. I haven't played any games myself, but Cappy has made quite a bit of progress on Mass Effect.
Ooh.
We're about halfway done, if I had to guess, with Mass Effect 3. And she's already cried 3 times, I think.
Oh no.
Just during the third game. So she was like, if I'm crying this soon into game 3, I'm going to be crying a lot at the end, aren't I? And I was all like, yeah. Yeah, you are. But she told me the other day that when we're done with Mass Effect 3, she basically wants to go ahead and roll into Mass Effect Andromeda too. So
Nice.
I'm pretty excited for that.
Ooh.
I've only played it once, so I'm sure a lot of the stuff she does is going to be new to me as well. So that's going to be exciting.
But what happens if she picks every single thing you picked last time?
That is not going to happen. With my experience with Mass Effect 1 through 3, she is not going to pick what I chose. We have similar outlooks on multiple situations, but I am confident she will not make the same decisions as me. Too many decisions to be made, too many weird things that I did. So, I am not afraid of that at all.
Groovy.
But I'm pretty stoked that she's like really into the series because it's like my jam. So, other than that, just been catching up on Critical Role, and that's about it.
Oh, yeah. Next week, Critical Role is back. I'm so excited.
Oh, is that next week? Cool.
Next
yeah.
week, the 10th. The
But
10th.
then on this week. Yesterday.
One more time, TJ.
Were they on Vegas or did they not have the show yesterday?
No,
What?
he's asking if they had a show yesterday.
Oh, I don't believe so. I think they've been off for the past 2 weeks because of the holidays,
Yeah.
which is sad. But I've been rewatching Campaign 1 right now, so I've managed to live.
Same.
All right, TJ, do you want to try and give us your business?
I'll do it real quick. I was on last week. I don't remember. Song.
You sound terrible.
Fucking.
Yeah,
What's that I do, man?
you sound like Robo Man.
Mm. Is it any better now?
There you go.
Okay. So I wasn't here last week, so I had everything to talk about. I don't know what I did, but I'm not going to talk about it. But this week, I have really played anything new that I can think of. I've been playing nothing really. Nothing new.
Nothing.
Just fucking around. Just trying to work and then going home without work and then work getting in the way. And, you know, it's been a real shitty last 4 months.
Yeah, I could see that. With Amazon being trash and holidays and everything else. You still there? No. We've lost him.
No.
What has happened is the trees suddenly take root and begin to pull themselves out of the ground and walk to TJ's truck and eat him and his truck. And therefore, we do not have TJ anymore.
It's The Happening all over again.
God, that was a terrible movie.
I had to bring that up, didn't I?
Man, fucking plants with their goddamn pollen. And there he goes. That's ridiculous. Plants with their pollen and like, oh, let me just pollen and all over the place, and then now you're dead.
We're dying from plant jizz.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, oh, there must be something super, super crazy about what's going on. And it's like, nope, just fucking pollen. That's it. It's
Welcome back, TJ.
Hi, TJ.
Yeah, that is reconnected. All right, then.
Yeah, you look good.
Yeah, now you sound great.
I'm sure it'll dump on me again in a second.
Probably so. But you said the last 4 months have just been utter shit, and I agreed with you.
Yeah. Other than that, nothing really new. I did buy another thing for my Switch. Another controller.
Another controller.
Joy-Con.
So you can replace the bad one that you messed up?
Yeah, I'm going to take this one apart, too.
Let me take this one apart so I can fuck it up as well.
Damn it, I only fucked one up. I mean, one out
Yeah,
of
the
two is
hardest
not bad.
one. Yeah, you fucked up the
No.
one that's the hardest one. What?
Oh, that's true. I did. Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I don't think it was my fault. I think it was a bad mold. Because, I don't
So
know.
you're blaming
Chinese?
Nintendo on that.
No, I'm blaming the aftermarket company I bought the clear one from.
He's blaming the Chinese.
Not Chinese, or actually it might be Chinese.
It is Chinese.
But,
what are you kidding me? All that shit is made in China.
Not
By the way-
everything's made in China, really.
Yeah, by the way, don't go to China. You may get kidnapped by the state government and held hostage. Just so you know.
Those poor bastards, they get nothing from me.
Just your friendly
kidding.
travel tip. They've started taking people in Canada into prison, and now people from the U.S. They are real mad about that Hawaii CFO that Canada is threw in jail and is going to extradite to the U.S. Boy, they're pissed about that.
Oh, yeah.
So they're like, okay, well, we're just going to take all your fucking people and throw them in jail for no reason. So don't go to Canada, or don't go to Canada. Yeah, don't go to Canada either. Don't go to China, goddammit.
All their free healthcare and shit.
Yeah.
Freaking commies.
Oh, goodness. All right, I guess I'll go ahead and talk about my business this week. Let's see. It has been full of work. Ugh. It was a short week because this one it was New Year's Day. Had a fun little New Year's Eve party. Just a quiet little intimate get together with a couple other friends, and watched the ball drop all the way across the U.S. So that was interesting. Watching Anderson Cooper try to do shots of vodka was hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, it was like, what in the hell am I watching?
Speaking of weird things on the news during New Year's, did you guys see the clip of the couple having sex on live TV?
What?
What?
Yeah.
No.
They were, I want to say it was ABC. I can't remember who, but it was the New Year's Eve party, and there's a couple, and it just looks like they're having a good time. But he's right behind her, and they're just kind of like grinding into each other, dancing. And then she makes the "oh shit, that's the spot" face, and grabs his hand. And you're like, those two are having sex.
Always be chilling.
Yeah.
I did not hear about that at all.
Yeah, I'll dig up the link and post it in Discord.
That's gonna be funny, dude.
Oh my god! Like, oh look, it's her O face.
Yeah, I don't know if it was the O face, but it was the oh shit face.
Oh, pardon me. Oh wow. That's so much better than watching Anderson Cooper try to drink vodka. I should have been watching that. Man, they had like a whole bunch of people on the New Year's show that they were putting on with Steve Harvey was hosting it. And the entire time I'm just sitting there watching Steve Harvey, and I'm just like, no, let's not do, no, Steve. But did you know Steve Harvey can actually play the damn piano?
Huh.
That blew my mind. He got on stage, and he actually plays worth a damn on the piano, which really surprised me.
I had no idea.
That's cool.
I was like, wow, okay, well, Steve Harvey, why don't you just play the piano more? You're pretty good at that. Outside of other things like comedy. But nonetheless, I watched that. TJ watched a more interesting show than me, apparently. And then, boy, it's been work. Haven't had any time to kind of do any games or anything. Been doing some other stuff behind the scenes. And not only that, planning on doing a whole bunch of moving of some equipment very soon. But outside of that, I am very much waiting for PAX at this point. Which is officially 2 weeks away now. God help us all.
Getting real close.
Real close. I'll have to sleep in my truck, I think.
Why? No, man.
Park my truck in the garage and sleep.
It'll be okay.
It'll be exciting. I can't wait to actually get down there and connect with all these indie developers.
Mm-hmm.
That is going to be really good. And I just remembered I need to get new business cards made with the new logo.
Mhm. Gotta do it quick too.
Yeah, there's just plenty of time to get it shipped here. I'll forget about it and not do it until the last second and then not get my cards in time.
Same.
That's how it works.
I
But,
got mine.
We know you got yours.
I got mine like 2 months ago. I bought my PAX tickets and then I made the card like the next day.
If only I were that smart, but I am not. But I still have time. I'll get through. I'll get it.
I'll keep reminding you.
Let's see. I guess that's it for business. Like I said, I hadn't played any video games, and like last week where I had a minute to play Red Dead. I still need to finish that, but let's see. Outside of that, I guess we can go on and move on over to the news segment for this week. TJ, why don't you go ahead and kick us off for the news?
All right, cool. I had this thing closed. One sec. Totally prepared. So professional. It's right over here. So, every once in a while, some company will be like, "Hey, we're gonna make a new console, and it's gonna be great, and it'll come out in 3 years, and everybody will be stoked about it."
The Spectre.
I don't know. I don't know what that is.
That's a console that was supposed to come out about 20 years ago.
Before my time.
Okay, it was like 8 years ago, whatever.
Okay.
So anyways, Slightly Mad Studios is apparently coming up with their own console. They have the design down, which if you've seen it, it looks real dumb.
It looks slightly mad.
It looks slightly stupid. I mean, I'm really hoping this is their final design, because nah, man, this looks like if you've ever like you start building your own PC and you're like, what's the craziest case I can have? This is it. This is theirs.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, it's not great. I'm not a fan, but they haven't released the specs on it yet because they're still shopping around for manufacturers to make the stuff. But apparently it's supposed to be fast enough, or it's equivalent to a very good PC 2 years from now. So that's their goal. It's basically just going to be a non-exclusionary thing to compete with the other big names.
I don't want to shit on them. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't either. I want them to actually make this console, and I would love to have more competition. It's just easy to shit on this terrible case design.
Well, I was going to say, I don't want to shit on them because competition's good. But the problem is, unless you have like the chutzpah like Microsoft did to muscle their way into this business, there's just nothing's ever going to happen.
Yeah,
if you were a tiny company and you're like, I'm going to make a video game console, all these developers are going to be like, no.
Yeah. You go ahead.
Sorry, I was just going to say the only companies I could actually see financially and feasibly breaking into the console market would be somebody like Google or Amazon.
Yeah. They've got the chutzpah and lots of it behind them too. They could sit there and go, all the games we're buying exclusivity on. And then
by chutzpah, he means shitloads of money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure these little companies got the chutzpah. They just don't have the moolah.
Yeah, that's the thing.
And what's crazy is that like, well, we'll get all the indie developers, and they'll be like, yeah, we'll support your thing, but they're already designing for PC. So if your console is like, we'll have the indie developers like, yeah, if it's easy to port to theirs, sure, but we're building for PC mostly because that's where their main market's going to be.
Right.
Except for Xbox is basically PC.
Let me introduce you to the Ouya. Oh, yeah.
Rip.
Rip Ouya. That's
We
basic.
hardly knew you.
That you can buy that
But,
thing for
yeah,
like
man,
20
I mean-
bucks now.
And it's still a piece of shit.
Well, yeah. People just realized it was an Android phone in a box, basically.
A
like,
bad
sorry.
Android phone.
Sorry, folks.
But really, that's all my news.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I hope they pick one, but I don't have a lot of hopes.
Hey, what? I'll tell you what. I'll follow up. With some new stuff right here. Did you know that Soulja Boy had a console that he was going to put out?
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no, he put it out. It was for
Yeah.
sale.
Yeah, he put it out there. It was for sale. It was an emulator. It's more or less it was a emulator box that emulated all the Nintendo and all the PlayStation and let's see.
Why did he think that was a good idea?
Here is the wonderful things. It emulated. You were able to play the Switch, the 3DS, the Vita, the Neo Geo, the Game Boy Color, the Game Boy and Game Boy Advanced games, and it came with 3,000 games built in. He thought this was a great idea, except for the fact that you can't fucking do that.
Yeah, that's
Legally.
like highly. You're just breaking every copyright law.
Well, and of course,
Here's
had
the best part.
here's the best. What's the best part, TJ? It blacked out for a second.
I was hoping my internet would stay with me long enough. The best part is he didn't even design this. It's a literal he's reselling a Chinese emulator console. Like, it's not rebranded, it's not redesigned, it's just fucking copy paste, sell it on my website for a markup.
Mhm.
A big one too.
Oh yeah, it was expensive as all hell.
Yeah.
And one of the things that he proclaimed is when all this started to go down and he started to get in trouble. He was like, "They're trying to keep a guy down," which I'm paraphrasing his tweet that he put out there because I'm not going to read it word for word. And then later on, true. Later on, he posted a tweet. He goes, "I had to boss up. I didn't have a choice." No shit. It's illegal. Duh. So, the Soulja Boy console is no more. Its short-lived lifespan. I think it was what was it, like $249?
It was something ridiculous like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can buy it on Amazon for like $75.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So, moving on from more failed consoles, Nintendo officially shoots down Bowsette. Hooray! Actually, Nintendo has just come out and said that only Toadette will be allowed to get the power up from the Super Crown. So, all your Bowsette memes can continue, as much as I hate them. And I hate them as much as I hate Fortnite.
That's a lot.
That's excessive, I feel like.
No. Nope, there's an equal amount of hate for all. I am an equal hating opportunist.
Oh,
Oh,
Okay.
it wasn't me this time.
We'll be right back. And welcome back, everybody. Technical difficulties are fun. As much fun as Fortnite.
oh, shots fired.
Choo, 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 choo. I hate Fortnite.
Really?
Really?
Elaborate on this for me.
Oh, well, it's
So-
simple enough. Fortnite is terrible because it caters to tweens who don't understand where to put their aggression.
Man, I feel like that's on the parents, really. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't like Fortnite either. Like, I don't like playing it. I don't like the game. I don't like the way it does. I don't like the community. I'm the same. My vehemence isn't quite as strong, but whenever I see kids and they're like, "I play Fortnite," I'm immediately like, "I don't like you. I don't like anything you stand for."
I cringe physically. I'm like, ah.
My favorite thing is, and all these freaking dances and all this shit behind the dances, and I mean, I don't believe that any of the people that are suing are going to win because of reasons. But I think it was Ninja was hosting a New Year's party,
Yep.
and he tried to get the crowd to floss, and they were having none of it. None of it. It was awesome.
Because they're all a bunch of fucking adults
Yeah,
who have jobs.
There's like 10,000 people, and maybe 5 of them were into it, and poorly.
Ugh.
So yeah, I get you. I don't like Fortnite either.
The hatred flows. I'd be a terrible Jedi, but I'd be a great Sith Lord. Like, let your hatred flow. Let me kill Fortnite. I cannot wait until the next big thing comes along and dethrones Fortnite. Because it was like this with PUBG.
Yeah.
And even at this point, I wasn't the biggest fan of PUBG, but I didn't hate PUBG as much as I hate Fortnite. There is a difference.
The difference is that PUBG wasn't aimed at 10-year-olds.
That's true.
Or at least 10-year-olds didn't latch onto PUBG like they did Fortnite.
Yeah.
The issue with that is, and it's going to be a long time before something dethrones Fortnite, just because Fortnite is free.
True.
They still made over $1 billion this year.
Yeah, selling all the costumes and the dances.
$1 billion from Fortnite add-ons. That's not even $1 billion as a company.
I know it's terrible because I've seen my niece talking to her boyfriend, and this was a few months back, and she was helping him pick what Fortnite skin to get. And I was just like, no.
Disowned.
It's just sad.
I
was like, I don't want to see this. I'm kind of done now.
Tell her I want my camera back if she's playing Fortnite.
She's not playing Fortnite. Her boyfriend is.
I'll have no supporting the culture.
That's not culture. Anywho, let's see. I was bitching about Fortnite because of Toadette and Bowsette. So that's all the news that I got. Matt, why don't you go ahead and bring us on in some more news?
All right. Video game communications are now subject to United States accessibility laws.
What?
So what this means is that the gaming industry must now be fully compliant with the 21st Century Communications and Video Accessibility Act, which basically states that your product has to be accessible to anybody with a disability. So what that basically means is that games that were far into development prior to December 31st don't have to abide by this. But anything that was reasonably early in development or has significant updates or DLC or expansions, like titles including Fortnite, Destiny, and World of Warcraft, will now have to fully support this with their next major update. Basically, it's any communications functionality and UI used to navigate in the game must have some sort of support for disabled users. So users who are deaf, mute, blind, etc. I do know that there's I don't think World of Warcraft is going to have a big issue with this, because I know there's a couple of blind World of Warcraft players who use it frequently. Because I remember reading an article a couple of months ago when Battle for Azeroth came out, because apparently Blizzard made a change to how automated flight paths work in the game. and it affected the way a blind user could access the automatic flight paths. Because what he did was he learned, apparently the flight path map would come up and it would have the selectable flight paths you could choose, and they would be numbered. I mean, you can't see the numbering as you're playing the game, but there was in the background, there was some kind of number associated with every flight path. And so he could go like flight path 16 or whatever, and the game would choose that flight path for him without him having to try to figure out where it is on the screen. And apparently when they did Battle for Azeroth, they either disabled it or changed it. And he had to get in contact with Blizzard and talk to them about it, and they released a patch to fix it.
Wow.
But basically, all the old games won't have to be compliant. But if the game releases DLC or expansions, or if they're not far enough in development right now, they'll have to include this. And then, of course, all future games will have to include this.
That is going to ramp up development costs
A little
lot.
bit. Well,
Well,
I don't think it'll ramp it up as much as a lot of people think. Because you have to keep in mind, there's a lot of features already built into games that already compensate for that. Like the most obvious one is for deaf people, adding closed captioning to everything in the game. Most games do that.
Yeah, that's the easy part. The hard part is how do you I know of like fighting games or racing games. How do you cater these games to the blind community?
I think it's more along the lines of it's not necessarily that your game has to be fully functional right out of the box and easy to access for a blind player. I think it's more along the lines of there needs to be some support in your game to make it possible to do this. So I think it's less that, because I've also seen in your specific example for fighting games, I've seen a YouTuber who's legally blind and he plays fighting games and he plays it all by sound.
Yeah.
So he listens to where things are, and he's got like really high end 5 or 7.1 surround sound headphones, and he can hear stuff and play the game. And he's actually like against the AI, he's pretty good. So I mean, I think it's more along the lines of that, less along like, this has to be just as accessible to someone with a disability. I think it's more just that there needs to be some kind of back end to support that feature.
Right.
It would be, in certain situations, it would be hard to force.
Implement.
Yeah, hard to implement, hard to force a game developer to do particular things. They're like, hey, you're going to have to figure out how to make, Tetris at level 99 to be fully playable by a blind person. And it's like, I'm not blind and I can't play it at level 99. So I mean, it's like you got some kind of leeway there, but
hold on with it. Well, I was gonna say, I don't know about that, because they've got the masters, those Tetris masters that will play during the credits with a completely invisible Tetris board. And you have to defeat that board to become to be considered a Tetris master.
Well, the one compensation to that is they show you the piece before it falls.
That's true. You do get to see the piece, but I guess technically, if they were to say
the
square,
yeah, exactly. Forwards L,
Z.
backwards L.
Yeah.
Yeah, Z too. Yeah, it's going to be difficult. But yeah, I think it's a good idea. I think in the long run, most game developers have either figured out a way to do it or are more than willing to assist in doing it. Like if some of the games that have developed disability playable features have been developed by the modding community, and I've seen some game developers just reach out to those modders and be like, hey, give me your code. I just want to put it into the game straight up.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I think it's less about the modding, less about the developers wanting to do it and more about making sure that they're not intentionally discriminating against disabled users.
Right. Yeah.
I think that's more the intention of the law. So I think it's a good idea in the long run. We'll have to see how it goes.
Mhm.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think
I
this
mean,
is going to be great.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a fan of everyone getting to play,
Oh,
regardless
yeah.
of anything.
Well, you've seen, I've brought this up. I know I brought this up a number of times before, but that new controller Microsoft is putting out, where it has multiple add-ons for different functionalities, like for using your breath to be a control, or other things.
for quadriplegics and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's again, way to go, Microsoft. I mean, for what they're offering on this, it looks amazing, and I'm just kind of surprised that it hasn't kind of grown, or other people have been like, hey, that's actually a really good idea. Why don't we do that?
Yeah.
Sony,
I saw
Nintendo.
a couple of God, it was probably like a year or two ago now. I got contacted by a hardware developer that was making a mouse for people who didn't have fingers. So if you lost fingers in an accident, or you had a deformity in your hand, like there's the deformity that gives you like the lobster claw hand.
Mm-hmm.
And the mouse was designed to work with people who didn't even have hands. So if you were amputated at the wrist, for example, you could still function this mouse perfectly fine, because it was big. It was like, that big or something, but there was a big touch ball, a big trackball in the middle, and large buttons that you could press really easily. And it was really cool. And they contacted me about it, and I was all like, yeah, I love your product, but I don't really have a way to show this off to my community properly. It's because I don't have a disability. I think that would be kind of
A disservice.
awkward. Yeah, kind of. Yeah, a disservice. I mean, it would seem almost like in a weird way, like I was kind of like, hey, look what these people have to deal with, and I didn't want to come across like that.
Right.
I mean, I think I made a video talking about it and just described it and showed it on a website, and was all like, that's really the best I'm going to be able to do for you guys. But I was fully supportive of it. I think I tweeted out like the Kickstarter and stuff.
For my inappropriate joke of this podcast, you could have wrapped your hand in a ball of tape and then just be like, I could do this.
I'm not going to do that. I love you, TJ.
I don't mean, I get.
No, I totally understand where you're coming from. Yeah, I get it.
My thought would have been like, this is probably the wrong mentality, but I wouldn't have been like, I can't do this. I'd be like, I would love to show this. How can I? I will wrap my hand up in tape and then go at it.
That's fair. And I'm sure, it's unfortunate with society the way it is nowadays about like people can be offended for other people. And I'm pretty sure the vast majority of people that would complain about something like that are people that would not have the disability. And
perfectly. People, that's offensive. It's like, but they wouldn't know. They might not know about this otherwise, and I want to get this product out to those people.
Right. And and the vast majority of people with that disability would be like, I totally get that. They'd be totally supportive of it. And you're like, see, it's not a problem, guys.
Yeah.
Whatever.
We're assuming.
Anyway.
It's fine. This is fine.
The other God damn it. The other piece of news I have is not gaming related. It is movie related.
Ooh, movies. Like movies.
Did either of you guys see the new Jumanji movie with The Rock?
No.
Yes. I was skeptical at first, but after seeing it, the original Jumanji with Robin Williams holds a special place in my heart, and I'll love it forever. But I feel like this Jumanji movie was better.
Yeah, agreed.
News has just come out today, I believe. It doesn't list a date. No, January 4th. There we go. Today. Danny DeVito officially signs on to join Dwayne Johnson in a Jumanji sequel.
Now that is exciting.
You know, the one thing I didn't realize is the new Jumanji, the one that came out like a year ago, made almost $1 billion.
Woo!
It's like
That did really well.
960 million.
That is amazing.
It was nuts.
And now it's going to make so much more money because it's Danny DeVito and
Hell
not
yeah.
Ryan Reynolds.
I would laugh my ass off if Ryan Reynolds gets fucking right in.
I know, right?
Oh shit! I am kind of well. How are they? But what? How do you make a follow up to Jumanji? Do you just go back in the game again?
Somebody else gets sucked in.
Well, didn't the game self-destruct at the end of the movie?
I don't know. I haven't seen the new one.
No, it didn't. They didn't even mention what happened at the end of the game. Like when everyone come back out, they're just like walking down the street. Spoiler alert.
Oh, that's true. Well, like if
Spoiler
you saw
alert,
the first,
people live.
if you saw the first Jumanji, you know what's going to happen.
Everyone lives.
The end. But I still don't get it. I mean, how do you even make a follow up to that?
I don't know.
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
well, I mean, you know, really, I don't know.
I guess we'll find out.
I guess we will.
Hollywood. I know what they'll do. They'll stick a cute, fluffy animal character in there. And then they'll sell millions of dollars worth of merchandise.
But you gotta have
It'll be
the
porgs.
Yeah, porgs.
bro. You gotta have some kind of plush doll.
Of
Yeah.
merch.
Gotta have the merch.
Gotta get that merch. Anyways, if you guys want to buy a Mindy doll, you can get them at awesometv.store.tv.twitch.twitter.com.
No.
Not Amazon.
Yeah, you can just Google fucking stuffed man. No, don't Google stuffed manatee.
Oh no!
That sounds terrible. Manatee plush
Put them up
on
the
Amazon.
wall.
Go buy one. I don't sell them.
Nice. Anyway, all right.
But yeah,
any more?
that's it for my news.
All right. Well, then we can move on to the other segment that is part of this podcast. You know which one I'm talking about. It's the one segment where we read emails. Look at how I did that. If you want. Oh, damn it. I forgot what the. I forgot. Here's the bad thing. My brain died in going into that diatribe that I normally go into. It just died. Like all the pistons were sitting there firing and then just went and seized. So we'll try this. If you want your email read on the VGBit Bitcast, you can send your emails to bitcast@vgbits.com. That's BITCAST at VGBits.com. We will read them. There we go. You just got to prime the pump a little bit. And then step on the accelerator and let it turn over once in a while. All right, guys. We have an email from last week. We asked how everybody's holiday was, and I guess what their New Year's resolution was. So, our good buddy Mike sent us an email with the subject line email. Sorry, it's not increasingly loud, but if I go increasingly loud, I think something will break. Mike says, work.
Like equipment.
Everything. It'll just all fall to shit right now. It's held up with twigs and duct tape. And not even the good duct tape. The fake stuff. Anyway, Mike writes, he worked through all the holidays, so he didn't get to celebrate it all. His New Year's resolution is to go to PAX, and hopefully not Austin, but San Antonio is where his flight will end up. He says it's cheating, but it's the first convention I'll be going to, so it's a big event for me. Also, some news I found funny and somewhat interesting. Bandai Namco is publishing a JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Battle Royale this summer in arcades in Japan. What? Oh my god. Now we're going to see everybody run around in Japan in a Battle Royale game going, stand! And then a fucking boat comes out of nowhere? That's all I remember of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Never seen it.
Somebody's stand was a goddamn Freightliner ship. Like, this guy's stand is the entire boat. Oh no! I was like, what am I watching?
Something bizarre.
I think that's the...
It's his adventure.
Yes.
I haven't seen any of the new
Starring
stuff.
JoJo.
I haven't seen any of the new JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I actually do wonder if it is better than some of the old stuff. Because the old stuff was... Boy, it was hilarious, though. Because that's where you had your bad translations. The knee is hurt, indeed. I miss that stuff. That was back in the day, the early 90s, late 90s of anime, where nobody really could translate anything worth a crap.
That was before Funimation, huh?
Yeah, it was way before Funimation, that's for sure. So, I guess that's going to do it for the email this week. Mike, thank you for your email. Since it is the new year, and we are fixing to roll over for next week, the 52nd podcast, and we will have, at the end of that podcast, we will be completing a grand total of 1 year's worth of podcasting, which will be anywhere from way too many hours of our lives categorized on the internet. We should celebrate. Let's see, a good question to ask. What do you... No, let's not ask that question. I thought about it for a second and I was like, nah, let's not do that. That's going to be a little weird. You know what? Since next week, we're going to be talking a lot more about movies and TV shows and a little bit less about gaming because we are having a special guest next week.
Ooh.
My soon-to-be wife, currently fiance, will be joining us on the Bitcast to celebrate 52 episodes of the Bitcast. How about we do this? What movie are you looking forward to in 2019? Answer. I don't know. No.
Daily Double.
Daily Double. Boodaloo, boodaloo, boodaloo. I've asked this before, I think, a little bit. Let's try and stay away from some of the ever apparent Disney movies that are coming out. And let's branch out and see if we can find something interesting.
Neither of my
What's
choices
coming
are
out next
Disney.
year?
All right, Matt, what's your choice?
Back off one of you.
Matt, what's your choice?
I'm going to choose two because one of them comes out next week, I think. I'm looking forward to Glass, which is the sequel to Split. And later in the year, I'm looking forward to Godzilla King of the Monsters.
Woo, Godzilla!
I'm a huge Godzilla fan.
Hey, Gojira! Gojira! Let's see. All right, TJ.
I don't have a movie I'm looking forward to because I don't pay attention to movies coming
What,
out.
like the new Joker or the new Hellboy?
Never heard anything about them.
What? You haven't
Yeah.
seen Joaquin Phoenix's Joker yet?
Nope.
That actually looks like it might be really good.
Yeah. He kind of looks like,
Like a sociopath.
well,
I mean,
less-
Joaquin Phoenix looks like a sociopath.
yeah. Okay, I'll give you that. He's more along the lines. He kind of looks like what was his name? Caesar.
No, the Caesar Romero.
Caesar Romero's Joker.
Yeah,
He's
from
got
the
that
60s.
the '60s oldish style, but not horrible. Maybe '70s look to him. So I think that'll be interesting. Whose duck is quacking? Ah, it's TJ and his phone.
Yeah.
His duck is quacking on his phone. Quack 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 quack. All right. You know what? I am interested in of course Avengers Endgame, but that's the easy answer. As is with Captain Marvel. You know what?
Technically, you said no Disney movies, and those are all Disney movies.
That's true. Like I said, those are the easy answers. Like I said, I am actually interested in the Sonic the Hedgehog movie. I know that
Oh my
sounds
God.
insane. I'm so curious at how they're going to screw this up. I've got to watch it now.
I don't think we can be friends anymore.
Sonic with his muscly legs, man.
Jesus.
You
That thing's
know-
going to tank so hard. It's going to be
I
one of those
know.
movies that everyone's going to go see on opening night for ironic reasons. And they're going to make like $300 million on opening night. And then the next weekend, they're going to make like 6.
Yeah, it's just gonna dash. And people will be like, "No, don't watch Sonic. No, don't do it. Don't do it."
Yeah. It's going to be
Oh.
so bad.
I can't wait. I can't wait to see how bad it is. Jim Carrey as Eggman. Come on, give me something.
Maybe.
I hope. Anyway.
I think Jim Carrey will probably be the thing that carries that movie. Ha 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 ha. The pun on his name. But
Badum Tish.
But Sonic and whoever the hell the guy is with him in the car in the poster, I forget who that actor is.
It's supposed to be a cop or something.
I don't know. But whoever that is, that's just gonna be horrible.
Let's see. It is Ben Schwartz or James Marsden. It's one of the two.
Okay, yeah, rip.
Goodbye.
They're fine actors, but I don't think they're gonna carry that movie.
We shall see.
Yeah.
No, there's not much to it. It's Sonic. It's Sega's last stand.
Gotta go fast, I guess.
Gotta go into the trash, or gotta go fast to VHS.
That's sad if it goes straight to VHS. They're not even VHS players anymore.
Exactly. Hey, I actually have a VHS player. What are you talking about?
It's in the closet, right?
Okay, yes, it is. Actually, it is in the closet right now.
Haha, get owned.
Wait a minute. At least I own one, damn it.
Well, I don't even own a DVD player anymore. I just have Blu-ray players now.
Let's see, I own a DVD player. I own a VHS player.
Don't say cassette.
I gotta think about that one. I don't think I actually own a cassette player.
Okay.
I don't even own a cassette anymore.
I think I have a box of cassettes in my you know what's sad is when I was growing up, that's all I listened to on cassette, but I can't go back and listen to it now because it's going to make me feel weird. It's the only thing I have on cassette are Michael Jackson tapes and Bill Cosby.
Oh, you might as well get rid of that latter one. Oh, good old Cosby.
His material was funny. It's just it feels weird to listen to it now. Because what the connotation is. So it's like
Yep.
it's hard.
Mhm.
Giggity. I should not have said that.
And that's where we're gonna end.
Oh no.
Thank you for joining us for episode 51 of the VGBit Bitcast. Next week will be episode 52, and we'll do a little bit of celebration here. We're going to talk some movies and TV and all sorts of good stuff. So watch as many things as you can, because otherwise we'll have nothing to talk about. So, guys, thanks for joining me this week, even though TJ is having to be a mute because his phone sounds like a duck. Quack, 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 quack. Sad face, but nonetheless, TJ's a trooper for at least trying to make it into the podcast this week.
Good Lord, I love that face.
And Matt, thank you so much for joining me this week.
I'm sorry, everybody, for my last joke.
No, you're not. No. We will see you next week on the Bitcast. Good night, everybody.